Hello everybody and welcome back to another edition of UFTA Premium. I'm your host Darren Walters. It's great to have you this evening, and I think what we're going to do is I'm going to get you up to date on all the latest happenings regarding the development of UFTA. So at this point, I already have this wonderful prototype from Print and Play. Wonderful shout out to them. Thank you so much for doing that. It was a struggle. We each struggled, kind of like in life, but we both overcame a few obstacles, and we're both better off. So I just want to shout out, say thank you, of course, to Tyler, who, the blood, sweat, and tears from this can be shared by both of us. There's no question. Sacrifices were made. But in the meantime, I've been talking a little bit with the parent company of Print and Play, which is AdMagic, and since they're a major game publisher, talks have gotten farther along about potential publication either in the United States or abroad. It could be overseas in China. Some of you may be dismayed to hear that, but the reality of retailing kind of dictates this. So anyway, so we're going to see what's going to happen on that front. In the meantime, we've updated everything. All the updates that have come in the last few videos have been relayed to Print and Play, and so we're pretty much up to snuff, up to the standards that we want to have for UFTA. So, all right. Is there anything else I can think of? Oh, I also hired, I worked with a graphic designer. His name is Cole. He was awesome about it. And he just helped me with a few box designs because I merged all those layers. That was talked about in a previous video. So. All right, so I think in this version of UFTA, we're just going to relax. We're going to let our hair down. If we had hair, this guy lost his long ago. Yeah, we want to let the music play, and we're just going to enjoy some UFTA together. No major changes. We beefed up the trading aspect, but that's kind of hard to encapsulate in a solo game like this. So I'm pretty confident that it's in good shape. So, all right, so here we go. What's on the agenda today? Taking over the world. Wait, no, that's China. Thinking of China. All right, so here we go. 2. What do we want to do with it? We can squash that. Okay. Here's a productive roll 6. Get ourselves oriented here. Okay, so what are we going to do? We are going to take the carrots. Here we got 5. 2, 3 back. 2 in the cup. UFTA it's similar to life. I mean, there's no question about it, because there's a lot of ups and downs and trials and adversities and things you just have to face square on and deal with, right? But there's also triumphs, and the great silver lining that even though UFTA didn't get published as quickly on a timeline that I would have preferred, we have developed the UFTA Lite version, and I've got to say, my dad helped quite a bit with that, and he's pretty proud of the fact that it is a much quicker paced game, and it's over in 20 minutes, 25 minutes, and you can still enjoy your quality time with family and friends. So that's a big bonus, I think. And not only that, I mean, UFTA, my original point was UFTA imitates life, but it also, where was I going for this? I lost my train of thought. It happens at my age, things start shutting down. He's not quite as quick on the draw. but very frustrating. Anyway, so where we're going to go from here? We're just going to go ahead and plant those carrots. I'm sure it'll come back to me here in a few minutes. It seems like when I'm always on the precipice of making an important point, the thought vanishes. I don't know if anybody else is struggling with that, but 44 is not young. And it isn't surprising, that I find myself kind of in cognitive decline. It's annoying. But it's just reality. I mean, a lot of us are dealing with diseases and God knows what else. And it's just, facing facts, right? Okay, so here we go. 2. Put those carrots down. Hopefully I'll have enough wherewithal to make all these major important decisions, but even if I don't, it's kind of nice to have these videos. You can recreate me even after I'm long gone, after I die. You can bring these back and you can get my thoughts and opinions on whatever the relevant topics are of the day. But mostly I'm concerned with, what are your thoughts on UPTA? And living the fulfilled life. I mean, that's what this is. It's about living within your means, within a budget. It's all about finance, but it's also just about relationships, dealing with people. Not just dealing with people, but dealing with people. Meaning maybe opening up social interactions that are more positive. I struggled kind of with that when I was younger, because I was so focused on the job or what have you that I tended to have goggles on. I just wanted to get the job done, right? But with UFTA, there is no done. There's only more. Like, as long as you're alive and breathing, there's UFTA. So, okay, so here's a 1. And what I meant to say was it patterns itself after a lifelong ambition or struggle or interest, whatever your hobbies or interests are. It's like learning a musical instrument, where it takes a little while to practice and figure it all out. You may even have to pay a professional to help you. Carrots on carrots is 13. The nice thing about UPTA is it gives you instant feedback. I notice there's a lot of jobs, occupations, and other things out there that you don't know what your standing is. You don't know how you're faring. And it's important to have metrics to know just like, how are we doing here, right? Are we doing okay? Are we making progress? Or are we kind of stuck in a rut? I've done both. I've made progress and been stuck in ruts, so I kind of know what that feels like. Okay, so cucumbers moves up. 1. No, we're not ready for 1. Let's try it 2. The hardest thing to get right about UFTA is the relational aspects, I would say. Because, you can do the normal human thing, and you can be just kind of following your own desires, your own path, and whatever it is in life. And then, but if you want to be sociable and be empathetic, if you want to be empathetic towards others, you have to kind of understand what's going on at their level. And that, to me, I'm so jealous of the social geniuses out there. The ones that, can entertain a crowd or control a crowd or draw a crowd to them based on their charisma and appeal, right? Sometimes you have to be wary of those characters, like the Music Man or something. But on the whole, it's a very, it's an envious social gift, right? To be kind of magnanimous toward everyone and agreeable. Okay, so here's a 4. I mean, it's hard to please everyone. It's also hard to be everybody's friend. That can be extremely emotionally draining and taxing on you, right? I'm not sure I'd want to do that. Okay. So there's the squash. Got a good harvest going. Alright, so there's a 2. So at least, you know, with UFTA we've got goals and motivations. There's a lot of us that may struggle with that. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to make a board game, but you have to find the avenues that will lead to further opportunities and more success. Okay, here's a 4. We've got carrots. Some 3. Truth be told, I've never been particularly interested with farming or agriculture, just kind of on a need-to-know basis. So I never want to give you the impression that loving UFTA is about loving all things agricultural. But there is a certain there's a giant connectedness to everything, right? You know, like the trees, for instance. The trees have this vast underground network of root systems that just come alive. And the trees are communicating to each other down there. And that's something we didn't know until science came along and showed us this miraculous stuff. And so it seems like the more we learn about nature, the more we can kind of fend off some of those things that affect us as we age, right? Kind of unlocking nature's secrets for longevity. Okay, here's the squash. Cultivate and harvest. Squash is super good for you, digestive wise. Okay, so here's 13. Pop the field back in. There's potatoes. Okay, 6 is impressive. So we've got corn. Corn on corn is 12. Big ones. Yeah, so these 1 tokens, see how flimsy they are? They're going to be changed. I think there's going to be a total of 60 hunger tokens, all told. That's one of the hardest things I've done with the game, trying to figure out the currency, right? Like, how much of stuff do you need? I think like party planners or event planners are probably pretty good at this stuff, because you got to run the numbers a little bit. You know, figure how much food and stuff to bring. That's a shifting number, right? Shifting total. Okay, here's a 6. You can really get those numbers wrong. Carrots on the wrong one is 9. Yeah, so if you're trying to teach children or something, you can relate UFTA to them and say, hey, you know, this is how the world works. This is how it operates, you know. As far as we can tell, capitalism is our go-to system with for good or ill. Here's squash. No, we don't want to keep the squash. Get rid of broccoli, spinach. So here's a case in point where if you check this out, this grower has radishes and corn, and that's really heartening, right? But they've also got 2 spinach, and spinach is in a low spot right now. So I'm thinking, why not keep those spinach, and then I'll discard broccoli instead. Discard the broccoli moves up, and then I'm going to slip that squash into the next spot, right? And so we've got a really pretty copacetic thing going on here. Yeah. Okay, I think we're ready to start. Cucumbers. Start the madness. Okay, gamble's not going to happen. 1, 2. Gambling, nope. Cucumbers goes to kale. Kale's not a vegetable I was that familiar with until a few years ago. I started working on a farm, and they were growing kale, and I didn't know really what it was all about or what the big deal was. Now we know it's a superfood. It's pretty good for you. Okay, 2. But you know, people's tastes change. Definitely as we age, they do. You know, when I was young, all I could eat was sweet stuff. You know, I couldn't get enough, whatever it was, candy or cotton candy, or you name it, right? Typical kid, but the problem is, you know, over the long term, your teeth are going to feel it, right? Because you just inundate them with sugar. And so, as an adult, if you can like avoid some of the heavy processed sugar, some of the products that got so much sugar in them, you will probably be way ahead of the game. That's for sure. Okay, here's a 4. Squash. No. See, this grower made the effort to go after that spinach, so they got to make sure they plant it. Okay. There's peas. All right, cucumber, kale. We got peas. 1. 6, sabotage. Yeah, we could sabotage. Yeah. Okay. So even though I'm kind of pulling for this player, you know, the dictates of the game suggest that it would make more logical sense for this particular grower to invade the spinach over here and pluck it away. That's the smart move. And then you go ahead and disc. Because UFTA is, you know, it's like it's a personal barometer. It's like an emotional barometer. You know, I happen to have a mother who has a very highly tuned, sensitive, emotional barometer, right? And I don't have that, but you know what it is it lets you know when you know, we want UFTA to be something where you treat people equally with dignity and respect, and you know, in the spirit of fair play and all the rules we have in civilization that are supposed to be the glue that holds us all together. UFTA wants in on that, wants to be part of that. The do unto others, love your neighbor, love your enemies. We're going to borrow from Christianity a little bit because there are some good ideas in there. There's no question. I think the future generations are just trying to find their way through what are the good bits. We got to keep the good bits. We maybe need to discard the bad bits, the bits that don't apply anymore. And what are the great ideas that need to survive into the future so that everybody can thrive and prosper together, right? Those are some pretty lofty ambitions. If you can pull them off, you know, you will definitely be hailed as a, you know, significant person who led the way in their particular generation's trials and tribulations, right? Okay, so here's a gamble. You know, back when the Industrial Revolution happened, that was the agricultural community's tremendous leap forward, right? Because suddenly, yeah, we really can feed millions of people, or even billions. Once you leverage technology, that seems to be the real difference maker. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of that. Gamble. No. We're being productive. We're going to plant squash. Our little experiment with the spinach fell through, so we're just going to try Plan B. I think you can get that over the counter, right? Plan B. Okay, so here's squash. Cucumber, kale, peas. We got broccoli. 1 is okay. Nope. 2 is productive. Okay, so this grower is going to try the same tactic. They happen to have 2 spinach, so they're going to move that spinach down. into the one spot, lowering the value with the hopes of capitalizing big time on a productive roll. Okay, so here's a gamble. Yeah, we're not gonna gamble. Just broccoli, just radishes. So with this game, we don't have anything really new to prove. We're just, taking it all in and relaxing, and we are enjoying the opportunity to be with each other and enjoy each other's company and work toward a collective social good, which is, just feeding everybody. Okay, so here's a 4. Yeah, I think we'll buy the harvester. That seems to be, like, if you're trying to figure out life, one of the hardest things is simply, if you go out and you purchase things, you need to make sure they're vehicles for making you more wealth. And here's the deal. The hard part is trying to figure out when the lifetime of those useful items have run their course, right? So they've run their course, and you need to know, like, when is it time to cut ties with this thing? Because, if you have them for too long, let's say you purchase them too late in the game, they're not going to be as useful to you as they probably would have been if you purchased them sooner. And so that's a real concern when you're making major purchases. First, you have to ask yourself, do I really need this thing, or do I just want it? Right? Determining needs and wants can probably help you save a lot of money. If you know what you really need, or what I really, really want, according to, who was it? Gosh. See, now my age is showing, because I really should know who that is. Spice Girls, yeah. A little slow. Not everything comes to the fore anymore. Okay, here's a 2. Spinach. Yeah, we'll keep the spinach where we want it. Move radishes down into a prime location. Gambling's not going to happen. Cucumber kept these radishes charred. 2 is productive. Spinach is going to... Okay. See, at this point I have to take off the hat that's all-knowing. The omniscient hat. The Harry Potter hat. It's not the sorting hat. But the idea is I got to take off the all-knowing hat because this person has spinach, or they could bump the spinach knowing that they want it. So I'm pretending I don't know that. I'll just go with a couple of things here. Disking and seeding. Grabbing out of the magic bag. There's 2 factors in UFTA that are kind of like the Deus Ex Machina, the ghost in the machine, or the god in the machine. And the idea is, of course, the depository, which is where the value is, right? And then there's what you draw off the bag. And so what we're dealing with in UFTA is potentialities, right? We really don't know the value of everything before we start. Before the crops are mixed up in the farmer's market. And so we're dealing with potentialities. Just like in life, some things could pop into existence, but others may not. And it depends on the actions of the human beings involved. That's one of the big debates right now. Like, what are the consequences of learning that we don't have free will, right? What does that really mean? What does that look like? For notions like law and justice and other things. It's a lot to chew on, and I'm not sure it can be sorted out as easily as we all think it can. It comes as a big surprise of anyone who's been educated to discover, oh, wait a minute, all the people in authority do think there's no free will. And so where does that align with your local pastor or your priest or whoever it is? Now we've got a tremendous conundrum where we've got, once again, science and religion, butting heads, where many don't want them to, right? You hate to say, like, yeah, man, I'm super educated, and yet I still believe this. And that's how some of us are being. That's how some of us feel sometimes, right? I'm gonna put on the spot. I would just stick to whatever it is that holds the glue of civilization together. So it's do unto others. If you want to say it predates Christianity, that's great. But just stick to the ideas that we know work. And then maybe it won't be that hard deciphering the future with all of its technological advantages, right? Okay, so gambling? No. Okay, we're gonna bring the squash in. Squash is 12. Feed those people. Flip the Rooskies. Okay, squash again. Yeah, my utopian ideal, if you can't tell by now, is finding your favorite people, your favorite band or music, and just chillaxing and hanging out and enjoying UFTA together. To me, that is one of the great, the blend of utopian sort of feelings and emotions and lofty goals, aspirations that we have for each other. Because music can definitely save you out of a bad spot. That's for sure. So can medications. Some of us take to cope with life. All right, so here's the 4. Here's a chord. Because some of us wish we didn't know as much as we do. It's the knowing too much, right? We're humans. We know that everything dies. I'm gonna die. What can I create that's gonna outlive me, right? Well, if it's not children, then it's gotta be something else. And so this is my something else. I don't happen to have kids. That tends to be the major thing for most people. But I'm imagining UFTA being shared by all the families in the world, who want to improve their lot in life, right? And try to figure it out. Or what will make the most happiness and bring the most happiness and joy to everyone, right? Even if we know, yep, we're gonna die. It's reality. Did you do something meaningful with your life? And that's, to me, UFTA has brought me tremendous meaning and purpose, where I totally lacked it before. Anyone can see that. Even if I know maybe their universe has no meaning or purpose, ultimately, I'm happy in my work. I'm happy in my work because I'm confident that UFTA is something that will play well with everybody who's growing up, who's trying to figure things out, who's struggling, who has adversities, because the triumph at the end of that is going to be so joyous, so victorious that you cannot help but just feel completely overjoyed and elated with the strides and improvements you've made throughout your life, right? So anyway, that's what excites me. I find it very strange that I make these videos alone, that I'm the only one doing this, right? And yet I've created this social board game meant for all ages and all genders, all the things that separate people in life, right? Which is usually sex, gender, wealth, power, you name it. I'm trying to bring people together over some UFTA. People from all walks of life can enjoy UFTA. I want to get everyone's thoughts and opinions. So, your opinion and thought is just as valid as anybody else's. Okay, so because nobody has a monopoly. Nobody has the right way, right? Nobody has a monopoly on spiritualism, right? Everything's kind of fragmented in that realm. Nobody in the concrete world, the empirical world, can claim to know everything because there's still some fuzzy stuff going on with the math, right? It doesn't perfectly describe reality, so we're still kind of stuck there. So we're just kind of feeling our way through, trying to figure stuff out. Okay, here's a 5. Here's radishes. I know, for instance, you should try to make more money than you spend. If that were made a lot easier, I think you're going to find a tremendous amount of happiness and prosperity. But we don't preach the prosperity gospel here. Not at UFTA Incorporated. That's another character. We'll go nameless. Okay, so here's one. No, UFTA is about struggle. It's about adversity. It's about overcoming stuff. It's about resilience. It's about resilience in the face of just tremendous difficulties. Because I think that is closer to the life that most people are leading. Most of us are doing something we maybe don't enjoy because we need the money. I've done that. I've done things I don't enjoy just because I needed the money. And that didn't bring me any happiness. But similarly, you want to make sure that all of your talents and goals are lined up, right? Not everybody has the same God-given gifts. That actually is in the Bible, by the way. The talents aren't spread evenly, and so some of us are going to make more money than others in this life, and that's just reality. Some of us are tremendously talented music-wise or athletically, and that's just going to be the reality of how things play out, too. So instead of getting jealous, it's best to just savor the joy, right? Savor the impressive output of others instead of maybe competing all the time. That's something I'd struggle with. I'd be like, man, I'm so jealous of X, Y, and Z. I can't believe they can do what they can do. It's a natural talent that I wish were accessible to everybody. But no, we're not all gifted in the same way. There's tremendous variety, right? If you believe in God, God loves infinite variety. It seems to be pretty evident by everything on this planet. At least it has the appearance of design, right? That's an old canard that's just never going to be solved, right? Everything you seem and perceive looks as though something or someone is creating it, when the reality is it's an illusion. It's not the true reality. So, 6, sabotage. Sabotage 3/4. Alright, well, I don't think I have anything new to add, except my personal thoughts, opinions, and philosophies. I think UFTAs in the can is ready to be marketed and sold. That's an aspect of life that I don't have a great... That's not my strength. I'm not a seller. I'm not a natural-born seller. Or killer. But... yeah, so anybody that has experience out there, and you have specific experience with game boards and game board publishing, worldwide publishing, we're talking big numbers here, go ahead and contact me sometime. You can always like and subscribe to the videos, the effort that we're putting forth here. I'm going to probably be starting a Kickstarter soon. That's another kind of a gray area for me, which can take up a lot of, a big chunk of life, right? There's a lot of time, focus, energy, and effort put into a Kickstarter campaign, but it'll pay off. The one thing that keeps me motivated and optimistic is the quality of UFTA. I know because people other than me have put in many hours of labor to make this thing something special. I think the world can really appreciate. All cultures can enjoy it, right? Anybody who aspires to have goals and motivations, financial or otherwise, should be pretty interested in UFTA. So, all right, here we go. 4. Yeah. All right, so I think that's going to do it for our session of UFTA this time. I want to say thanks, of course, to my parents, Rick and Sue. I also want to say thanks to my family, everyone who has participated in UFTA at all. And you know who you are. Thank you so much for your helpful advice, thoughts, and opinions, because that has shaped the product into something spectacular and special. All right, so we're going to leave it at that. Thank you, everyone, for watching. And until next time, keep on playing UFTA. See you later, everybody.